Mahamantri is my point, and then maybe people might be curious, you know, oh, I can see there's something a little bit different maybe about, what are you doing? It's a little bit different. The only difference is that the heart is opening more and more. And it's never a matter of, oh, my heart's opening, so I'm better, and the people who can't open their hearts, I'll just ignore them and they're worse than me, and, they're basically just like stool. No. No. Hearts, as far as I'm aware, are so delicate and important and special, So every single heart must be respected. And where the heart is at must be respected. There's this great saint and soul, His Holiness Ordinary Swami, who explains, as far as I can remember, and I'm aware, I apologize if this is incorrect in any way, dear souls out in the world. Please forgive me, dear souls out in the world. If you can, dear souls out in the world, I'll understand if you can't. Dear souls out in the world, it's okay. Dear souls out in the world, Hare Krishna, dear souls out in the world. He explains from memory that we have a good dog and a bad dog within our heart. And that is everyone, as far as I'm aware. It's simply a matter of, what dog are we feeding more or only. And so, from what I understand, and as far as I can remember, this expressing of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the way to feed the good dog. And then sorry, I meant to say dear souls out in the world, the bad dog, it starts to howl less and less and less until it's totally silent. That's my understanding and my awareness anyway. So it's a process. It may not be that as soon as you start expressing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, straight away the bad dog will be silent completely. May howl here and there, maybe more quietly, until it's silent, as far as I'm aware. And that is my personal understanding anyway. Please forgive me, dear souls up in the world. If you can, dear souls up in the world, I'll understand, dear souls up in the world. Hare Krishna, dear souls up in the world. Hare Krishna, dear souls up in the world. Yeah. So, this is a way to feel full. I remember I went to the centre a long time ago in Wellington City. I hope they don't mind me saying this. Dear souls who are there in Wellington City, they were, what's the right word? Advertising, I guess, this expressing of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And for some time, I think, from memory, I would just go there to cry in the bathroom, because it actually felt like a safe place, because the energy, as far as I'm aware of that place, was different to any other place that I had ever been in, if that makes sense to us also in the world. And so that was the beginning-ish, I think, to us also in the world of my journey. And so yeah, the heart is aching, it's looking for something that's beyond the skin, so to speak, or quite literally, or very literally, dear souls out in the world. Does that make sense, dear souls out in the world? And yeah, once I came in contact with the sound vibration, it felt like, from memory, that my world had done like a 360, It was suddenly full of meaning and full of depth, And I was able to see, or at least start to see people in a way that I couldn't see before. Beforehand, I would just, I think, from memory, see people as sense objects, Oh, that one there, or that one there. Every time I think, from memory, I'd walk down the street, I'd just see people as an object, and it actually frustrated me from memory, I think, dear souls in the world. Like, why am I seeing them like meat, basically? Is this really how humans are meant to see other humans? Is this really all that there is to life? Just seeing everything and everyone as things for me, which is not really me, but for my temporary pleasure, it was quite frustrating. So, yeah, then I was so glad to come across very sincere persons who were, as far as I'm aware, and from memory, who were applying this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra into their life. And that may make the question arise, okay, does that mean that I need to start meeting people who are doing the same thing? No, no. It really starts with the sound, as far as I'm aware. Everything comes from that. It's not that you suddenly need to control everything in order to get what you think that you need for this process to work. Act sincerely according to your position. That's what I've heard anyway, and what I've read from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jaya. Yeah, that can be humiliating, because one might be thinking, oh, but I want to be there more. I want to do like they do. And, yeah, but, commitment is a very fine quality. And, you'll find even if you want to change situations, in my experience, there's only so many situations you can fit yourself into before maybe you're left with a situation that you can't get out of. For example, there are only so many houses that are vacant in the world, I think. So one might think, oh, what if I lived here, or something like that. People may not want to live with you. So that's, from my experience earlier on, I got so much realization simply when I stayed where I was and just tried my very best to go deep into this meditation. And then I made some mistakes, thinking that I would get more realization and more deepness of heart if I did change my material circumstance. And I found out, actually, not necessarily. Not in my personal experience, anyway. Yeah, so I'll leave the talk there. I apologize for any vagueness or incorrectness, if that makes sense, dear souls within the world. And I do apologize for repeating dear souls within the world many times. I may still do that, but, I hope it doesn't annoy anyone, dear souls within the world. It's okay if it does, dear souls within the world. Yeah. Yeah, let's just go deep. Life is so short. Time is so precious, and you shouldn't feel guilty about needing a lot of sleep, or needing to eat a lot, or needing to socialize a lot. Those things can remain from my personal experience. What matters most is the sincerity in the heart, and then everything changes and emerges. In other words, if that makes sense to yourself in the world, from there. It's okay if it doesn't to yourself in the world. I'll still love you to the best of my ability, dear souls in the world. Yeah. Heart. Not body, or house. Heart. Everything will leave us. I'll leave it there. Some deep thoughts, maybe. Yeah. And, yeah, again, I just want to apologize to yourselves in the world for anything that is bad in these videos. That is not my intention to yourselves in the world. My intention is to fill myself with love to the best of my ability, and then, if I'm not feeling selfish, share that love to the best of my ability. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.